Welcome. Good afternoon. This is the lecture for Wednesday and potentially Thursday, September 28th and 29th. It's Unit 3, Lesson 3 in code.org. It's actually about designing an app, part 1. The reason that this may go over 2 lessons is with testing, there's going to be different classes that can meet and different ones that can't. So if you get through this, great. If not, you'll have a second day. The agenda is our warm-up, thinking about user interfaces. We're in Unit 3, Lesson 3, Designing an App, Part 1. That's in code.org, you'll see. Our homework, there doesn't seem to be any at the moment. Our goal is that students will be able to use meaningful names for element IDs, as well as set up the user interface of an app, including buttons, text, and images. All right? We are going to start designing apps. Here's our warm-up. People design user interfaces to meet a user's needs, but they don't always get it right. Have you ever used an app where the user interface didn't actually meet your needs? It was kind of clunky or it didn't look great to you. What was the problem? Can you describe it? Like, the finger movements weren't intuitive. I couldn't find what I needed to get where I wanted to go. What do you think the designers didn't understand about you or your needs when they built that app? These are big questions as we're starting to build our apps. So let's go through this again. People design user interfaces to meet a user's need, but they don't always get it right. Have you ever used an app where the user interface didn't actually meet your needs? What was the problem? What do you think the designers didn't understand about your needs? Okay, let's do some random calling or whatever you'd like, but get some answers from our class. Pause video. Okay, those I'm hoping were great examples. There are a lot of things that can be bothersome or that aren't ideal for you. What about visually impaired? What if you needed extra large characters or something? Always things to think about. All right, Unit 3, Lesson 3, Project Designing an App, Part 1. All right, you are going to need your app development planning guide. That is in the module, or if I get out of here, I can open it up here. There we go. There's our beautiful app development planning guide. This is going to be 27 assessment points. So it's going to take a bit of time. We're going to have time, and you need to try and fill it out as thoroughly as you can. All right. There's an investigate and reflect phase. There's choose one topic, interview your classmates, design phase. See this? This is a chart showing just simple diagrams. You do not need to draw well. These are stick figure diagrams trying to show the user interface that you're going to build. This is their screen 1. This is their screen 2. This is their screen 3. When you click on this button, it is going to take you to flavors. If you click on this button, it takes you to the nutrition page. If you click on home, it brings you back here. If you click on home here, it brings you back. It's just taking you through 2 pages of an app explaining different sodas around the world. Okay? That's what you're going to need to be building by the end of class. If we don't quite get to it, this takes a little doing. So don't worry, there'll be more time. The building phase, start building your app. Testing phase, reflection on what you did. And there's a rubric at the end. This is showing everything that you need to score perfectly. Each one of these sections is going to be 3 points, okay? User interface screen. User interface includes at least 3 screens. User interface investigation. The user can easily navigate between all screens. User interface elements. The app includes at least 1 example of each. Text and image and audio. Okay, you can read down this, you will see what the full rubric is. That's all that you're going to end up doing in the end. We are going to build an app and it is going to be graded on these criteria. All right, so if you've got your planning guide downloaded, let's go to step 1, brainstorm topic ideas. Okay, we're going to take 3 minutes to do that. Stop the video. Okay, so how was that? Did you come up with some interesting ideas? You'll like the next step. Next step is choose a partner. So anyone that you would like in the whole room, the person next door to you is always an easy choice if they are tied to a desktop, but you need a partner. Okay. Tip, keep an eye out for bias. Collaboration with others is a key. Can anyone tell me what you think this means? What does this mean in programming an app? Keep an eye out for bias. I know it's the year of equity, but how can my app show bias? And why is collaboration with others a key? Let's see if you have an idea. Stop the video for a moment. You can start again. All right. What they mean when they say keep an eye out for bias is sometimes when you're designing an app, if you know a lot about something or you're an expert, you might not put all the steps that are needed for somebody who's a beginner at this topic or kind of app in order for them to be able to easily navigate your app. You might bias your app towards somebody who knows everything about football. That, you know, you're making a football betting app and there's going to be all sorts of expressions like, you know, touchdown, you know, a 1-point conversion, things like that, that if you're somebody who only knows like English soccer, you would not be able to use the app because you wouldn't understand what you were talking about. That is sort of what bias is about. The reason collaboration is a key is because ideally, as you will see a little later on, you are supposed to get focus groups to look at your app and listen to your ideas and tell you if they make sense to them. Are these appropriate for you? So that you can then design a better app. Because some of the things that you think might be perfectly straightforward may not be to another person. So that's why you have to always be thinking about how can I present these materials in a way that everyone can participate. I will not be creating a barrier to anyone to use my app. That is what bias in the computing world is about, is the idea that you may be focusing your app in a way that you're excluding people, not necessarily intentionally, but because the language or the way the user interface works or the questions you're asking are beyond the capability of some users who are novices or not initiated into this. Okay, let's see what else we're doing. Step 2, you are going to choose a topic. We're going to take 3 to 5 minutes and we will choose a topic in our team. Okay, so you both hopefully had ideas. Discuss. I don't think you need to stay with the ideas you started with, but you need a topic in 3 to 5 minutes. Stop the video. Okay, so did everyone get a topic? All right, let's move forward. Step 3, this is what we were talking about with bias. You need to survey your classmates. Ideally, your team needs to talk to, say, 3 to 5 people in your class and explain your idea and how you're thinking of presenting it and see if they think that's the best way to do it. All you're doing is you're doing basically field research. You're actually talking with people about your ideas and seeing how they would interact with the way you're going to present things. And you might be surprised at the insights you gain. Okay, make a note of these. I can promise you they will be part of a reflection later on. Who did you talk to? What did they recommend? What did you implement? How did this change your app? I'm just saying these are all questions you will have to answer later. So get those kinds of answers. Make sure that you're getting people to really think about your app and give you some good answers about what might make it better, how they could do it differently. Okay, let's take 5 minutes. Stop the video. All right, how was that? Was everyone able to get 3 to 5 people done? There may be more time later on. This is a great time for refining your app and changing your ideas before you've invested time in creating it. Remember, 7 P's of production. Proper pre-production prevents painfully poor post. The more time you put into thinking about a project, the easier it will be to create it as you envisioned it. Step 4, this is the big one. You need to review your app ideas for feasibility. Ideally, you can bring your apps up to me and I will be able to help you out and say, this seems like a good idea. Maybe it's going to be too difficult. Maybe you should try something a little harder. Is the app that you've decided on feasible? Can you create it in the time that we have allotted with your current skill set? Okay, so you're going to have 20 minutes to try and sketch out your user interface. That's the one, this one had 3 screens. Some apps might only have 2 screens. Some may have 5 screens. If you're creating like a tic-tac-toe app, you're going to have a you win screen, a you lose screen. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is show the home screen, the screen that you're starting on, the second and the third screen, and what it will look like. Just sketching in, just stick figure rough thing. We're going to have a picture here of a sunset. It's going to be the beachgoer club. We're going to list beaches around the world. Okay, that's it. Then you're going to have like, a go to beaches, or, like a text box that you're going to write into, or select from a drop down. You need those on the front. Which one is the input and where is it sending you to? Is it sending you to the next page, to page 2? Is it sending you to page 3? I don't know. That's what these arrows are for. This button sends you to page 2, the sodas. This button, nutrition, sends you to the nutrition page. The home buttons send you back to the main page. This button sends you from nutrition back to the soda page. Very nice, very circular, easy to access everything. Those are what you are trying to design and map out. What is your user interface going to look like? You probably need an image, you probably need a sound, and you're going to probably need a button of some form. So you need to decide, how are you going to design that? Then once you have the look, which one is the input? How are you inputting information? Where is that taking you next? What is the output of that input? Okay, 20 minutes. Stop video. Okay, did everyone get done? If you didn't get done, we will have more time later. Wrap up. How did talking with the users of your app impact your design decisions? How did getting that user feedback, what we call a focus group, somebody who you explained what your app was to get their reaction, how did their input help you when you were making those decisions before you started designing your app? Stop the video. Okay, I hope you came up with some great insights or great little anecdotes of things that you gained. It's funny, a lot of times there is just something that stands out. Oh, somebody said we needed more colors, that our app would really look great if it was a little more colorful, or that, if I had better sounds on my buttons. Those things stick out. I hope you had a great time today. If you didn't finish, don't worry, we will probably have time tomorrow to work on this. Thank you so much. Have a great day.